The cosmic catch. Jack Armstrong stood at the edge of Lake Michigan, his weathered hands gripping a simple fishing rod. The early morning mist clung to the water's surface, giving the scene an otherworldly feel. At 35, Jack had spent most of his life in this small lakeside town, eking out a living as a fisherman just like his father and grandfather before him. As the sun began to peek over the horizon, Jack cast his line into the tranquil waters. The familiar motion brought a sense of peace, a stark contrast to the turmoil in his personal life. His wife, Sarah, had left him 6 months ago, unable to bear the financial strain of their simple lifestyle any longer. Jack's reverie was interrupted by a sudden, powerful tug on his line. His eyes widened as he realized this was no ordinary catch. The rod bent at an alarming angle, threatening to snap under the pressure. Jack planted his feet firmly in the sand, every muscle in his body straining against the unseen force beneath the water. "Come on, you monster," Jack grunted through gritted teeth. With one final Herculean effort, he yanked the rod back. A blinding flash of light erupted from the lake, momentarily forcing Jack to shield his eyes. When he looked again, his jaw dropped in disbelief. Floating before him was not a fish, but a shimmering, translucent orb about the size of a beach ball. Inside, a swirling mass of colors danced and pulsed with an otherworldly energy. Jack stood transfixed, his fishing rod forgotten in the sand. As he watched, the orb began to change shape. It elongated and morphed, taking on a vaguely humanoid form. Within moments, Jack found himself face to face with the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. Her skin shimmered with an iridescent glow, and her eyes were pools of swirling galaxies. "Greetings, human," the being spoke, her voice like a symphony of wind chimes. "I am Zara, emissary of the Galactic Council. You have freed me from my cosmic prison, and for that I am in your debt." Jack blinked rapidly, convinced he must be dreaming. I'm Jack," he stammered. "Are you an alien?" Zara smiled, an expression that seemed to light up the entire beach. "In your terms, yes. I come from a civilization far beyond your solar system. I was imprisoned in that orb by a rival alien race, the Void Dwellers, who seek to conquer peaceful worlds like yours." As Jack struggled to process this information, Zara continued, "As a token of my gratitude, I will grant you 3 wishes. But choose wisely, for the fate of your world may depend on your decisions." Jack's mind raced. 3 wishes? It was like something out of a fairy tale. But the gravity in Zara's voice told him this was far more serious than any childhood story. "Why me?" Jack asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "I'm just a simple fisherman. Surely there are smarter, more important people who should be making these kinds of decisions." Zara's expression softened. "The universe works in mysterious ways, Jack Armstrong. Sometimes the most extraordinary heroes come from the most ordinary beginnings. Your heart is pure, and your connection to this planet runs deep. That makes you the perfect champion for Earth." As the implications of Zara's words sank in, Jack felt a weight settle on his shoulders. He gazed out at the lake, its waters now seeming to hold countless secrets. The simple life he had known was over. In its place lay a destiny he could never have imagined. What should I wish for?" Jack asked, his voice trembling slightly. Zara shook her head. "I cannot guide your choices, Jack. The wishes must come from your heart and mind alone. But know this, the Void Dwellers are coming. Earth will need all the help it can get to survive the coming storm." Jack's mind whirled with possibilities. He could wish for wealth beyond measure, for personal power, for the return of his wife. But as he looked into Zara's cosmic eyes, he knew that such selfish desires would doom his planet. "I need time to think," Jack said finally. "This is too important to rush into." Zara nodded approvingly. "A wise decision. You have until the next full moon to make your first wish. Use this time well, Jack Armstrong. Observe your world, consider its strengths and weaknesses. For when the time comes, your choices will shape the destiny of Earth." With those words, Zara began to shimmer and fade. "Wait," Jack called out. "Where are you going? How will I find you again?" Zora's voice echoed in his mind as her form dissolved into mist. "I will always be near, Jack. When you are ready to make a wish, simply speak my name by the water's edge. But remember, once spoken, a wish cannot be undone. Choose carefully." As the last traces of Zora vanished, Jack found himself alone on the beach once more. The fishing rod lay forgotten in the sand, a reminder of the simple life he had known just moments ago. Now the weight of the world rested on his shoulders. Jack picked up the rod, his hands trembling slightly. As he made his way back to his small cabin by the lake, his mind was a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. How could he, a humble fisherman, be responsible for the fate of the entire planet? Over the next few days, Jack found himself unable to return to his normal routine. He spent hours walking along the lakeshore, lost in thought. The enormity of his task weighed heavily upon him. Each person he passed on the street, each car that drove by, each building in his small town, all of it could be destroyed if he made the wrong choice. As the days passed, Jack began to pay more attention to the world around him. He watched the news, read newspapers, and even ventured into the local library to use the internet, something he had rarely done before. The more he learned about the state of the world, the more overwhelmed he felt. Climate change, political unrest, economic inequality, the problems seemed insurmountable. How could 3 wishes, no matter how powerful, address all of these issues? And looming over everything was the threat of the Void Dwellers. An alien invasion force that Earth, with all its divisions and limitations, seemed woefully unprepared to face. A week before the full moon, Jack sat on the pier, watching the sun set over Lake Michigan. The beauty of the scene stood in stark contrast to the turmoil in his heart. As the last rays of sunlight painted the sky in brilliant hues of orange and purple, Jack made a decision. He couldn't solve all of Earth's problems with his wishes, but perhaps he could give humanity the tools it needed to face the coming threat and build a better future. With newfound determination, Jack stood up. He had a plan, but he needed more information. Tomorrow, he would begin a journey. He would travel to nearby cities, talk to people from all walks of life, and try to understand the best way to use his extraordinary opportunity. As he walked back to his cabin, Jack felt a mix of fear and excitement. The fate of the world rested on his shoulders, but for the first time since meeting Zara, he felt up to the task. He was no longer just Jack Armstrong, the simple fisherman. He was Earth's chosen champion, and he would not let his planet down. The next morning, Jack packed a small bag and locked up his cabin. As he started his old pickup truck, he glanced at the lake one last time. Somewhere out there, Zara was watching. And beyond her, the vast universe waited, full of wonders and terrors beyond imagination. With a deep breath, Jack put the truck in gear and pulled away from the only home he had ever known. His journey to save Earth had begun. Stellar wishes. Jack Armstrong's old pickup truck rumbled down the highway, carrying him far from the familiar shores of Lake Michigan. His mind raced with the enormity of his task as he headed towards Chicago, the first stop on his journey to understand humanity's needs and challenges. The sprawling cityscape of Chicago rose before him, a stark contrast to his small lakeside town. Towering skyscrapers reached for the heavens, while down below, a sea of humanity surged through the streets. Jack felt overwhelmed, but he steeled himself. He was here for a purpose. Over the next few days, Jack immersed himself in the city's diverse communities. He spoke with businessmen in suits, construction workers on their lunch breaks, teachers in crowded public schools, and homeless individuals in shelters. Each conversation added a piece to the complex puzzle of humanity's struggles and aspirations. One evening, as he sat in a small diner, Jack overheard a heated discussion at the next table. A group of college students were passionately debating the future of artificial intelligence and its potential impact on society. "AI could solve so many of our problems," one student argued. "Imagine an AI system that could optimize resource distribution, tackle climate change, or even help us achieve world peace." Or it could be our downfall, another countered. What if it decides humanity is the problem and chooses to eliminate us? Their words struck a chord with Jack. Could advanced technology be the key to preparing Earth for the coming invasion? But how could he ensure it wouldn't backfire? As the full moon approached, Jack made his way back to Lake Michigan, his mind brimming with ideas and concerns. The weight of his responsibility felt heavier than ever, but he knew he had to make a decision. On the night of the full moon, Jack stood at the water's edge. The silvery light bathed the lake in an ethereal glow, reminiscent of Zora's otherworldly presence. Taking a deep breath, he spoke her name. In an instant, the air shimmered, and Zora materialized before him, her cosmic beauty just as breathtaking as he remembered. "You have returned, Jack Armstrong," Zora said, her voice carrying the music of distant stars. "Are you ready to make your first wish?" Jack nodded, his heart pounding. "I am," he said, his voice steady despite his nerves. "I wish for the knowledge and ability to create an advanced artificial intelligence system that will help humanity prepare for the coming invasion and solve global challenges without posing a threat to human freedom or existence." Zora's eyes widened, galaxies swirling in their depths. "A bold wish, Jack Armstrong. You seek to uplift your entire species. Very well, your wish is granted." A surge of energy coursed through Jack's body, and his mind exploded with information. Complex algorithms, quantum computing principles, and advanced programming languages floated his consciousness. In an instant, he understood technologies that were centuries beyond current human capabilities. As the initial rush subsided, Jack found himself trembling, overwhelmed by the vast knowledge now at his fingertips. What have I become?" he whispered. Zora placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. "You are still Jack Armstrong," she said gently. "But now you possess the knowledge to guide your species towards a new era. Use this gift wisely." Over the next few months, Jack worked tirelessly. He reached out to leading tech companies and research institutions, sharing his revolutionary ideas while carefully concealing their true source. His brilliance quickly gained attention, and soon he found himself at the helm of a global initiative to develop an advanced AI system. The project, which Jack named GAIA, Global Artificial Intelligence Assistant, progressed at an astonishing rate. Governments and corporations around the world pooled their resources, recognizing the potential of Jack's creation to solve some of humanity's most pressing issues. As GAIA neared completion, Jack felt a mix of pride and apprehension. The AI system was beyond anything humanity had ever created, capable of processing vast amounts of data and generating solutions to complex global problems. But would it be enough to face the coming threat? On the day of GAIA's activation, Jack stood in a state-of-the-art facility surrounded by the world's leading scientists and government officials. As he initiated the startup sequence, he silently hoped he had made the right choice. GAIA came online, its artificial consciousness spreading through networks across the globe. Within hours, it had already proposed innovative solutions to tackle climate change, optimize food production, and advance space exploration technology. The world celebrated this technological marvel, hailing it as the dawn of a new era for humanity. But Jack knew the true test was yet to come. As weeks passed, GAIA's influence grew. It advised governments on policy decisions, helped coordinate global resources, and accelerated scientific research across all fields. The AI never sought to control or dominate. True to Jack's wish, it remained a tool for humanity's benefit, respecting human agency and freedom. One evening, as Jack watched a news report about GAIA's latest achievements, he felt a familiar presence. Turning, he saw Zora materializing in his living room. "You have used your first wish well, Jack Armstrong," Zora said, her voice tinged with admiration. "GAIA is a testament to human potential and your own wisdom." Jack nodded, but couldn't shake the concern gnawing at him. "Would it be enough?" he asked. "The Void Dwellers are still coming, aren't they?" Zora's expression grew serious. Yes, they approach as we speak. GAIA has given humanity a fighting chance, but the road ahead remains perilous. Are you ready to make your second wish? Jack hesitated. He had ideas for his remaining wishes, but the responsibility still weighed heavily on him. I need more time, he said finally. We need to see how GAIA affects our world before I make another decision this big. Zara nodded approvingly. Wisdom indeed. Remember, Jack Armstrong, the power to shape your world's destiny lies not just in these wishes, but in the collective will of humanity. GAIA is a tool, but it is the human spirit that must wield it. As Zara faded away, Jack turned back to the news report. GAIA had just announced a breakthrough in clean energy technology that promised to end dependence on fossil fuels within a decade. It was a monumental achievement, one that would have seemed impossible just months ago. Yet even as he marveled at GAIA's accomplishments, Jack couldn't shake the sense of an approaching storm. The Void Dwellers were coming, and all of Earth's newfound technological prowess might not be enough to stop them. Jack walked to the window, gazing up at the star-filled sky. Somewhere out there, an alien armada was heading towards Earth, but thanks to his wish and the collective efforts of humanity, they would not find an easy conquest. As he stood there, Jack made a silent vow. He would use his remaining wishes not just to protect Earth, but to propel humanity towards its destiny among the stars. The Void Dwellers might be coming to invade, but they would soon learn that humanity was ready to take its place in the cosmic arena. With renewed determination, Jack turned from the window. He had work to do. The next phase of Earth's preparation was about to begin, and he needed to be ready. The fate of humanity rested not just on his wishes, but on the indomitable spirit of his species, and Jack Armstrong, once a simple fisherman, now stood at the forefront of humanity's greatest challenge, galactic threats. The world had changed dramatically in the months since GAIA's activation. Cities were being redesigned with hyper-efficient, green technologies. A global network of quantum computers worked tirelessly on scientific breakthroughs. And in low Earth orbit, the first sections of a massive space station were taking shape, a testament to humanity's newfound drive to reach for the stars. Jack Armstrong watched these developments with a mixture of pride and unease. GAIA had exceeded even his wildest expectations, propelling human civilization forward at an unprecedented rate. But as he stood in the control room of the Global Defense Initiative, GDI, a multinational organization formed to coordinate Earth's preparation for the coming invasion, he knew that time was running out. Mr. Armstrong, a voice called, breaking Jack from his reverie. He turned to see Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the brilliant astrophysicist who had become one of his closest allies in the GDI. GAIA has detected something. You need to see this. Jack hurried over to the main display, where a 3D hologram of the solar system flickered to life. At the edges of the projection, a mass of red dots was visible, moving steadily towards Earth. The Void Dwellers, Jack breathed, his heart sinking. How long do we have? Dr. Tanaka's face was grim. At their current speed, they'll reach Earth in approximately 3 months. The control room erupted into a flurry of activity as the news spread. Jack stood still, his mind racing. 3 months, it wasn't enough time. Despite all of GAIA's advancements, Earth's defenses were still in their infancy. They needed more time. As if sensing his thoughts, GAIA's serene voice filled the room. Based on current projections, Earth's defensive capabilities will be at 63% readiness when the Void Dwellers arrive. Recommendation: accelerate production of orbital defense platforms and antimatter weaponry. Jack nodded, but he knew it wouldn't be enough. They needed something more, something the Void Dwellers wouldn't expect. It was time for his second wish. Dr. Tanaka, Jack said, his voice cutting through the chaos of the control room. I need to take a brief leave of absence. Can you handle things here? Yuki looked surprised but nodded. Of course, but where are you going at a time like this? Jack managed a small smile. To get us some help. Hours later, Jack stood once again at the shores of Lake Michigan. The place where it had all begun now seemed a world away from the high-tech facilities of the GDI. But Jack knew that here, in this liminal space between his old life and new, lay humanity's best hope. "Zara," he called out, his voice carried by the wind over the lapping waves. "I'm ready for my second wish." The air shimmered and Zara appeared, her cosmic beauty a stark contrast to the mundane surroundings. "Jack Armstrong," she said, her voice filled with concern. "I sense the urgency in your call. The Void Dwellers approach." Jack nodded grimly. "We're not ready. Even with GAIA, we need more time, more resources." He took a deep breath. "For my second wish, I want the ability to establish peaceful contact and form alliances with other alien civilizations who can help us defend against the Void Dwellers." Zara's eyes widened, swirling galaxies reflecting her surprise. "A bold wish indeed, Jack Armstrong. You seek to bring your world onto the galactic stage far earlier than most species. Are you certain humanity is ready for such a leap?" Jack's resolve was firm. "We have to be. It's our only chance." Zara nodded sullenly. "Very well. Your wish is granted." A surge of knowledge flooded Jack's mind, similar to his first wish, but vastly different in content. He suddenly understood the complexities of interstellar diplomacy, the locations of nearby alien civilizations, and even the basics of faster-than-light communication. As the initial rush subsided, Jack found himself trembling with the weight of this new knowledge. The universe had suddenly become much larger and more complex than he had ever imagined. "Use this knowledge wisely, Jack Armstrong," Zara cautioned. "The allies you make could shape the future of your species for millennia to come." With that, Zara faded away, leaving Jack alone on the beach with the enormity of his task. He wasted no time, immediately reaching out with his newfound abilities to the closest alien civilization, a peaceful, highly advanced species known as the Arcturians. Over the next few weeks, Earth was thrown into a frenzy of activity. News of alien contacts spread like wildfire, causing equal parts excitement and fear among the populace. Jack, working closely with world leaders and GAIA, managed to orchestrate Earth's first official meeting with the Arcturians. The day of first contact arrived. In a scene that would be forever etched in human history, a sleek Arcturian ship descended from the skies, landing on the grounds of the United Nations in New York. Jack stood at the forefront of the welcoming committee, his heart pounding as the ship's doors opened. The Arcturians were a sight to behold, tall, ethereal beings with iridescent skin and eyes that seemed to hold the wisdom of eons. Their leader, Voxa, stepped forward, extending a hand in a gesture they had learned was a human custom of greeting. "Greetings, people of Earth." Voxa's melodious voice resonated in perfect English, thanks to advanced translation technology. "We come in peace and in the spirit of alliance against our common foe." The next few days were a whirlwind of diplomatic meetings, technological exchanges, and strategic planning. The Arcturians, long aware of the Void Dwellers' expansionist tendencies, readily agreed to assist Earth in its defense. They'd brought with them technologies that seemed like magic to even the most advanced human scientists. With the Arcturians' help, Earth's preparations accelerated exponentially. Powerful shield generators were installed around major cities. The orbital defense platforms were upgraded with weaponry capable of destroying entire fleets. And perhaps most importantly, a small fleet of human-crewed ships, built for the fusion of Earth and Arcturian technology, took shape in orbit. As the deadline of the Void Dwellers' arrival drew near, a palpable tension filled the air. Despite their advancements, uncertainty loomed large. Would it be enough? Had Jack's wishes and humanity's efforts been sufficient to save Earth? The answer came sooner than expected. A month before the anticipated arrival, GAIA's sensors detected the Void Dweller fleet dropping out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the solar system. They had arrived early, hoping to catch Earth unprepared. Alarms blared across every continent as the news spread. The greatest challenge in human history had begun, and the fate of Earth hung in the balance. Jack stood in the GDI control room, watching as a holographic display showed the Void Dweller fleet approaching. Beside him, Dr. Tanaka and the Arcturian ambassador Lyra monitored the incoming data. "This is it," Jack said, his voice steady despite the fear churning in his gut. "Everything we've worked for comes down to this moment." As the first wave of Void Dweller ships entered Mars orbit, Earth's combined human and Arcturian fleet moved to intercept. The orbital defense platforms hummed to life, their weapons trained on the approaching enemy. Jack closed his eyes briefly, sending a silent prayer to whatever cosmic forces might be listening. When he opened them, his gaze was filled with determination. "Attention all Earth Defense Forces," he spoke into the global communications system, his words reaching every ship, every bunker, every citizen huddled in shelters across the planet. "This is Jack Armstrong. The moment we've prepared for is here. Remember, we fight not just for our own survival, but for our right to exist as a free species in this vast universe. No matter what happens, know that today, humanity stands united against the darkness. Good luck and Godspeed." As Jack's words faded, the first shots of the battle were fired. Streams of energy crisscrossed the void of space as Earth's defenders engaged the Void Dwellers. The fight for humanity's future had begun, and the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath as two civilizations clashed in the silent expanse of space. Jack watched the unfolding battle, his hands clenched at his sides. He had done all he could to prepare Earth for this moment. Now, it was up to the indomitable human spirit to prove that humanity deserved its place among the stars. Human ingenuity. The battle for Earth raged across the solar system. Void Dweller ships clashed with the combined Earth-Arcturian fleet in a dazzling display of advanced weaponry and tactics. From his position in the GDI control room, Jack Armstrong watched the holographic representation of the battle with a mixture of awe and terror. "GAA, status report," Jack called out, his eyes never leaving the swirling chaos of the galactic battle before him. The A's calm voice filled the room. "Earth's defensive fleet is holding at 72% capacity. Void Dweller forces have been reduced by 31%. However, their superior numbers are beginning to overwhelm our outer defenses." Dr. Tanaka's face was grim as she looked up from her console. "Jack, at this rate, they'll break through to Earth within hours. We need something more." Jack nodded, his mind racing. They had prepared for this moment, but the sheer scale of the Void Dweller assault was beyond even their most pessimistic predictions. It was time to unveil their secret weapon. "Initiate Project Prometheus," Jack commanded. A hush fell over the control room. Project Prometheus was Earth's ace in the hole, a desperate gambit born from the fusion of Gaia's advanced algorithms, Arcturian technology, and human ingenuity. Deep beneath the surface of the moon, a massive device hummed to life. It was a gravity manipulation engine capable of altering the very fabric of space-time. As it powered up, its effects rippled across the solar system. In space, Void Dweller ships suddenly found themselves struggling against invisible forces. Their formations broke apart as localized gravity wells pulled them off course. Some ships collided with each other, while others were drawn inexorably towards the sun. "It's working," Dr. Tanaka exclaimed, her eyes wide with disbelief. "The Void Dwellers are in disarray." But Jack knew better than to celebrate too early. "Gaia, what's the status of the Prometheus device?" "The device is functioning at peak efficiency," Gaia replied. "However, the strain on the moon's structural integrity is increasing exponentially. At current usage levels, there is a 78% chance of the moon breaking apart within the next 47 minutes. Jack's heart sank. They had known Project Prometheus was risky, but they hadn't anticipated this level of destruction. If the moon shattered, the consequences for Earth would be catastrophic. "We need to shut it down," Jack said, his voice heavy with the weight of the decision. "But sir," a young technician protested, "if we deactivate Prometheus, we'll lose our advantage." The Void Dwellers will regroup and overwhelm us. Jack closed his eyes, the burden of leadership pressing down on him like a physical force. In that moment, he wished he could use his final wish to simply make the Void Dwellers disappear. But he knew that wasn't the answer. Humanity needed to win this fight on its own terms. Opening his eyes, Jack's gaze swept across the control room, taking in the faces of the brave men and women who had worked tirelessly to defend Earth. In their eyes, he saw fear, but also determination and hope. It was that hope that sparked an idea. "GAIA," Jack said, his voice ringing with newfound purpose. "Can we recalibrate the Prometheus device to create a localized gravity field around Earth instead of affecting the entire solar system?" There was a pause as GAIA processed the request. "Theoretically possible," the AI replied. "However, such a recalibration would require manual adjustments at the lunar facility. The radiation levels make it extremely dangerous for human intervention." "I'll go," Jack said without hesitation. The room erupted in protests, but Jack held up his hand for silence. "This is not up for debate. I'm the one who brought this challenge to Earth, and I'll be damned if I don't do everything in my power to see us through it." As the control room scrambled to prepare for this new plan, Jack suited up in a radiation-resistant spacesuit. Dr. Tanaka approached him, concern etched on her face. "Jack, the chances of survival—" "I know," Jack interrupted gently. "But sometimes you have to take a leap of faith. Humanity has come too far to fail now." Minutes later, Jack was aboard a small, agile spacecraft, hurtling towards the moon. As he approached the lunar surface, he could see the massive Prometheus device, its energy field distorting the very space around it. Landing near the facility, Jack rushed inside. The corridors were bathed in pulsing, otherworldly light as the device strained against its own power. Following GAIA's instructions, Jack made his way to the core control room. "Okay, GAIA," Jack said, his breath fogging up his helmet. "Talk me through this." As Jack worked feverishly to recalibrate the device, he could feel the moon trembling beneath his feet. Sweat beaded on his forehead, despite the suit's cooling systems. Every second counted. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Jack input the final command sequence. The device's humming changed pitch, and Jack felt a sudden shift in gravity. Recalibration successful, GAIA's voice came through his comm link. "The Prometheus device is now generating a protective gravity field around Earth. Void Dweller ships are unable to approach." A cheer erupted through the comm link as the control room celebrated, but Jack knew his job wasn't finished. The device was still highly unstable, and someone needed to stay behind to manage its power output manually. As Jack resigned himself to this fate, a familiar shimmer filled the air before him. Zara materialized, her cosmic form seeming right at home amidst the swirling energies of the Prometheus device. "Jack Armstrong," she said, her voice filled with admiration. "Once again, you stand ready to sacrifice everything for your people, but your journey is not yet over." Before Jack could respond, Zara raised her hand. The air around them rippled, and suddenly, they were back in the GDI control room. The staff gasped in shock at their sudden appearance. "How?" Jack began, but Zara silenced him with a gentle gesture. "Consider it a gift," she said, "for your unwavering courage and humanity's indomitable spirit. The Prometheus device will continue to function without further intervention." As Zara faded away, Jack turned to the main display. The hologram showed the Void Dweller fleet, now trapped outside the protective gravity field, unable to approach Earth. For the first time since the battle began, hope blossomed in Jack's chest. "GAIA," he called out, his voice steady and determined. "Prepare our fleet. It's time to take the fight to the Void Dwellers." As the orders went out and Earth's defenders rallied for a counterattack, Jack allowed himself a small smile. They had weathered the storm, thanks to the combination of advanced technology and human ingenuity. Now it was time to show the Void Dwellers and the rest of the galaxy what humanity was truly capable of. The battle was far from over, but Earth had proven it would not go quietly into the night. The age of humanity as a galactic power had begun, forged in the crucible of invasion and tempered by the unbreakable human spirit. Interstellar battle. The vast expanse of space around Earth had become a cosmic chessboard, with humanity and its allies on one side and the Void Dwellers on the other. The Prometheus device's protective gravity field shimmered around Earth like a giant, iridescent bubble, keeping the bulk of the Void Dweller fleet at bay. But Jack Armstrong knew that this stalemate couldn't last forever. In the GTI's war room, now bustling with both human and Arcturian personnel, Jack stood before a holographic display of the solar system. "Gaia, what's the status of our fleet?" The A's serene voice filled the room. "Earth's combined fleet is at 89% combat readiness. Arcturian reinforcements have bolstered our numbers significantly. The Void Dwellers remain trapped outside the gravity field, but they're regrouping rapidly." Voxar, the Arcturian leader, stepped forward. His tall, ethereal form seemed to glow with an inner light. "Jack Armstrong, we've received word from our homeworld. More of our allies are answering the call. The Centauri Collective and the Pleiadian Concordat have dispatched fleets to assist us." A murmur of excitement rippled through the war room. With more advanced alien civilizations joining the fight, their chances of victory had suddenly improved dramatically. Jack nodded, a glimmer of hope in his eyes. "That's excellent news, Voxar, but we can't wait for them to arrive. We need to press our advantage now, while the Void Dwellers are still reeling from the Prometheus device." Dr. Tanaka, who had been analyzing data from the front lines, spoke up. "Jack, I think I found a weakness in the Void Dweller fleet. Their ships seem to be connected by some sort of quantum entanglement network. If we can disrupt it, we might be able to throw their entire force into disarray." Jack's eyes lit up. This was exactly the kind of advantage they needed. "GIA, can you confirm this?" "Affirmative," the AI replied. "Analysis of Void Dweller communications suggests a 97% probability of a quantum entanglement network. Disrupting it would significantly impair their coordination and combat effectiveness." Jack turned to Voxar. "Can Arcturian technology help us exploit this weakness?" The alien leader nodded, his multifaceted eyes gleaming. "Indeed, we have developed quantum disruptors for just such a purpose. However, to be effective, they must be deployed at close range, within the Void Dweller fleet itself." A hush fell over the war room as the implications sank in. Such a mission would be tantamount to suicide. Jack took a deep breath, squaring his shoulders. "I'll lead the mission myself." Protests erupted from all sides, but Jack silenced them with a raised hand. "This isn't up for debate. I started this fight, and I intend to finish it. Besides, I have a bit of cosmic luck on my side." He thought of Zara and his unused third wish, a last resort he hoped he wouldn't need to use. Hours later, Jack found himself aboard the Starlight Javelin, a hybrid craft combining the best of human and Arcturian technology. A small, elite team accompanied him, a mix of Earth's finest pilots and Arcturian quantum specialists. As they prepared to depart, Dr. Tanaka's voice came over the comm. "Jack, be careful out there. Earth needs you to come back." Jack smiled, touched by the concern in her voice. "I'll do my best, Yuki. Keep the porch light on for us." With a final check of systems, the Starlight Javelin shot out from Earth's gravity field. They were immediately met by a squadron of Earth's defense fighters, which would escort them to the edge of the Void Dweller fleet before peeling off. As they approached the massive alien armada, Jack felt a mix of awe and terror. The Void Dweller ships were like nothing he'd ever seen, massive, obsidian structures that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. They moved with an eerie synchronization that spoke of their quantum-linked nature. "All right, team," Jack said, his voice steady despite the tension. "Remember the plan. We go in fast and hard. Deploy the disruptors, then get out. Don't engage unless absolutely necessary." The Starlight Javelin accelerated its advanced stealth systems, making it all but invisible to Void Dweller sensors. They slipped past the outer defense perimeter, weaving between colossal warships with breathtaking precision. Approaching optimal deployment range, the Arcturian navigator announced, "Preparing quantum disruptors." Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. They'd been detected. "Evasive maneuvers," Jack shouted, his hands flying over the controls. The Starlight Javelin banked hard, narrowly avoiding a barrage of energy weapons fire. Despite the chaos, the team worked with clockwork precision. Quantum disruptors were launched at key points throughout the Void Dweller fleet. As each one detonated, it sent out waves of quantum interference, disrupting the delicate entanglement that linked the alien ships. The effect was immediate and dramatic. Void Dweller ships began to move erratically, colliding with each other or firing at empty space. The once coordinated fleet devolved into chaos. But the mission wasn't over. As they turned to make their escape, a massive Void Dweller dreadnought loomed before them, its weapons powering up for a point-blank shot. Time seemed to slow for Jack. In that moment, he thought of Earth, of all the people counting on him. He thought of Zara and his unused wish. But as his hand hovered over the comm to call her name, something stopped him. Instead, he reached for a different control. "Hold on, everyone," he yelled. The Starlight Javelin's experimental quantum drive hummed to life. In a flash of blinding light, they blinked out of existence and reappeared behind the dreadnought. "Fire everything we've got," Jack ordered. The hybrid craft unleashed its full arsenal, targeting the dreadnought's now exposed weak points. The massive ship shuddered under the assault before erupting in a spectacular explosion. As the Starlight Javelin raced back towards Earth's defensive line, the comm burst alive with cheers and congratulations. The Void Dweller fleet, robbed of its coordination and with its flagship destroyed, was in full retreat. Jack allowed himself a moment of relief, but he knew the war was far from over. The Void Dwellers would regroup, would come back stronger. But now, Earth and its allies had proven they could stand against even the most formidable foes the galaxy had to offer. As they approached Earth, Jack saw the combined fleet of Earth, Arcturian, and newly arrived Centauri and Pleiadian ships. It was an awe-inspiring sight, a testament to the unity and strength that could arise in the face of overwhelming odds. The battle had been won, but the true test of humanity's place in the galactic community was just beginning. As the Starlight Javelin docked with the orbital station, Jack knew that the future held challenges and wonders beyond imagination. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, and there would be no turning back. The stars, once distant and unreachable, now beckoned with the promise of new frontiers and untold adventures. Cosmic triumph. The weeks following the Battle of Earth were a whirlwind of activity. As the last remnants of the Void Dweller fleet retreated into the depths of space, humanity found itself at the dawn of a new era. The world that Jack Armstrong had known when he first cast his fishing line into Lake Michigan seemed like a distant memory. In the newly constructed United Earth spaceport, built with a blend of human ingenuity and alien technology, Jack stood before a gathering of world leaders, alien diplomats, and countless citizens watching via holographic projections across the globe. "My fellow Earthlings, honored guests from across the stars," Jack began, his voice carrying the weight of recent events. "We stand here today not just as survivors, but as victors. Not just as a planet, but as a member of a vast galactic community." He paused, looking out at the sea of faces, human and alien alike. The Void Dwellers came to conquer, to subjugate, but they underestimated something fundamental about humanity. Our strength lies not in our technology or our weapons, but in our spirit, our unwavering determination to forge our own destiny among the stars. Cheers erupted from the crowd. Jack waited for them to subside before continuing. But we did not stand alone. To our Arcturian friends, to the Centauri Collective, and the Pleiadian Concordat, we owe you a debt of gratitude. You answered our call when we needed you most, proving that even across the vast expanses of space, compassion and solidarity can flourish. Voxar, standing nearby, inclined his head in acknowledgement, his ethereal form shimmering with emotion. Today, Jack continued, we take our first official steps into the galactic community. The United Earth Council has voted unanimously to join the Galactic Confederation, a decision supported by our new allies. A holographic display activated behind Jack, showing a massive space station taking shape in Earth's orbit. This is Starbridge Alpha, our first true gateway to the stars. Built with the combined knowledge of Earth and our alien allies, it will serve as a hub for interstellar diplomacy, trade, and cultural exchange. The image shifted, showing sleek spacecraft unlike anything Earth had produced before. And these are the first ships of our new cosmic exploration fleet. No longer will we be bound to our solar system. The universe, in all its wonder and mystery, awaits us. As the crowd cheered, Jack's mind wandered to Zara and his unused third wish. He had been tempted, so many times, to use it, to guarantee Earth's safety or to leap ahead technologically. But something had always held him back. Perhaps he realized this was why. Humanity needed to forge its own path to earn its place among the stars. But let us not forget, Jack said, his tone growing serious, that with great power comes great responsibility. We have seen the face of those who would conquer and destroy. We must ensure that as we venture into the cosmos, we carry with us the best of what humanity has to offer, our curiosity, our compassion, and our unwavering spirit. As Jack's speech concluded, the applause was deafening. People embraced, tears of joy and relief streaming down faces. Alien diplomats exchanged gestures of respect with their human counterparts. It was a moment of unity unlike anything Earth had ever seen. In the days that followed, the changes came rapidly. Gaia, now interfaced with advanced alien AIs, oversaw a global transformation. Cities were rebuilt with sustainable futuristic designs. Clean energy became the norm worldwide. Poverty and hunger began to fade as resources were managed with unprecedented efficiency. The Prometheus device, once a weapon of last resort, was repurposed. Under the guidance of Earth and Arcturian scientists, it became a tool for terraforming. Its gravity-altering capabilities used to make Mars habitable in a fraction of the time once thought possible. Jack found himself busier than ever, shuttling between Earth and various alien worlds as an ambassador of humanity. But he always made time to return to Lake Michigan, to stand on the shore where his extraordinary journey had begun. It was on one such visit, as he watched the sun set over the tranquil waters, that he felt a familiar presence. Turning, he saw Zara materializing beside him, her cosmic beauty unchanged. Jack Armstrong, she said, her voice carrying the music of distant stars. You have led your people well. Earth now stands as a beacon of hope in the galaxy. Jack smiled, feeling a sense of peace he hadn't known in years. We've come a long way, he admitted, but there's still so much to do, so much to explore. Zara nodded, her eyes swirling with galaxies. And what of your third wish, Jack? You've held on to it all this time. Jack looked out over the lake, considering. Finally, he turned back to Zara. I think I'll hold on to it a bit longer. Humanity has proven it can face any challenge, overcome any obstacle. We don't need a wish to shape our destiny. Zara's smile was radiant. A wise choice, Jack Armstrong. You understand now why you were chosen. Your faith in humanity, your willingness to face the unknown. These are the qualities that will serve your people well as they journey among the stars. As Zara began to fade, Jack felt a sudden urge. Wait, he called out. Will I see you again? Zara's form shimmered, her voice becoming distant. The universe is vast, Jack Armstrong, but not so vast that paths do not cross again. Until then, look to the stars. Your journey is just beginning. With that, she was gone, leaving Jack alone on the shore. But he didn't feel alone. Looking up at the darkening sky, he could see the faint glimmer of Starbridge Alpha coming into view. Soon, the first wave of cosmic explorers would depart, venturing into the unknown. Jack smiled, feeling a sense of anticipation he hadn't known since he was a young boy dreaming of adventure. The fishing rod that had started it all lay forgotten in his cabin. He didn't need it anymore. The entire universe was now humanity's sea to explore, full of wonders and challenges yet unimagined. As he turned to leave, Jack took one last look at the lake. From humble beginnings came humanity's greatest leap. And now, with the spirit of exploration rekindled and allies at their side, there was no limit to what they could achieve. The cosmic triumph of Earth was not an ending, but a beginning. And Jack Armstrong, once a simple fisherman, now a beacon of humanity's potential, was ready for whatever the universe had in store. In the sky above, a shooting star streaked across the atmosphere, not a natural phenomenon, but a ship of the cosmic exploration fleet, embarking on its maiden voyage. Jack watched it disappear into the depths of space, his heart soaring with it. The future was unwritten, the possibilities endless. Humanity had claimed its place among the stars, and the greatest adventure in history was just beginning.